Here on 2, we travel to California for a smashing time with those Hollywood movie stuntmen.
Get him. Whack him out. Hit him. Whack him. Finish him off. Get him. Set him up. Hey, good one, good one. Oh, great. Hit him. Hit him out. All right.
Hi, I'm Greg Anderson. I'm a movie stuntman. These are my buddies. By the way, this wasn't all bruised. It's all makeup. If I can get it off, I can't get it off. But anyhow, how would you like to come along with us, guys, and we'll show you how it's all done. And the first scene you saw, where those guys were hitting me, well, they weren't really. But in the movies, to make it look like someone's being hit, you have to react to the punches. For instance, if I was to be hit in the belly, I'd have to contract. And if I was to be hit on the chin, I'd have to snap my head at exactly the right second. I'll show you what I mean. Paul, go ahead. Go for it. Now, that didn't look too good. That's because you didn't hear the sound of the punches. But later, when we put the sound effects in, that's what makes it look real. Okay, go ahead. Thanks, Paul. See what I mean? Now, to give you a better idea of what goes into a making of a fight sequence, here's a scene we shot in a back alley in Hollywood. Here you'll see what can happen when a guy who is just walking his girl home suddenly decides to take a shortcut through the alley. That's our director, Earl Barton. He wasn't happy with the way the fight was going, so he stopped us in order to rehearse the timing again. He felt the action was playing a little too slow, and I happen to agree with him.
Greg says there's too much space between by the time I attack Harry, or by the time I attack
Can you
Billy,
close it up?
and
Come
Harry
further
what
back
we're
and
going
close
to
it in a
do.
little quicker.
Right, so I'm here. Billy touches, I turn.
Right.
The kick, boom.
Right.
Now he grabs.
Right.
And now I boom.
Good.
Boom.
Good. Then Harry goes.
Then Harry
All right, don't drop it. We got that in the other take. Okay, let's make one. All right.
1, 2, take 1. Marker. Black.
Action.
All right, into your pocket.
All right, that looked good. Okay, good, Keenan. Good, Keenan. Good.
How they look? Look.
Feel good for you? Feel good for you? Okay. All right, good. Print that one. All right, let's go to the next setup. Good. Down again. Down. She runs in. Good. Got it. Okay. Let's do it for real.
1, George, take 1.
Action. Got it. Talk it through. Go. Action. In. Down he goes. Right. So look to Bill. Right. Now, Billy comes up. Roundhouse, bang, pushing. Greg comes in. 1 to the belly. Bang. To the wall. Good. Okay. All right. Good. That's it.
Speed. One George, take through, mark.
Action. Got it. Okay, now start you a little wider apart. A little wider apart. Right. Now you're walking into him and he's coming into you after kicking Fred.
Right.
Right?
Main thing to remember, though, keep your elbows in on that ramp up there.
Right. Okay, go.
Boom.
One,
Boom.
two,
Point it.
left.
One side again.
Good.
Then another side. Then the roundhouse kick. Roundhouse kick. Turn. Spinning back kick. Now he straightens up. Now he comes forward. Yep.
All right, hold it. Don't do the straight. All right, no, we'll make the cut just before you hit the box.
1x1.
Action.
Is it?
Now that's what can happen if you pick on a guy named Bill Wallace, who was for 6 years the world's full contact karate champion and retired undefeated. Now let that be a lesson to all you would-be muggers.
Hey, thanks for making me look good on that first day, guys.
For me, it's always nice to work with a real pro like Bill. He really knows what he's doing when it comes to martial arts. And that's important when you're staging a fight with a guy as lethal as he is.
Okay, we're going to break for lunch now.
Thanks, Bill.
I'll have to admit, I can't remember when I've enjoyed being beaten up by a nice a guy as Bill Wallace. Now, when we perform other more dangerous stunts, certain types of equipment are used. That's for safety and for the effect. Now, what you'll be seeing next is the use of an apparatus that we call a jerk harness. Now, watch very closely, and you'll see exactly how and why it got its name.
Nice going, Billy. That was a good-looking stunt. Now, in order to get that effect, here's how Billy Ray prepared his jerk harness.
Feel good about it? Yeah, did you see that those guys got my pit area dug up there?
That's good.
Okay, they checked it all for glass or rocks or anything.
Right.
Excellent, excellent.
The pit area that Billy spoke of is simply the spot where he's going to land. We had it dug up and cleared of any debris so it will cushion his fall. This particular rig is basically a parachute harness that Billy has modified with additional padding and by attaching aircraft cable to the back of it. The cable is then pulled through his shirt to allow a carabiner to be clamped to it. In case you didn't know, a carabiner is a safety hook that was originally designed to be used by mountain climbers.
Okay, you feel all right? Excellent. Yeah. Gloves here? Okay, let me get in this.
Now, normally for this kind of stunt, we would use a very strong but very thin airplane cable, which we would blacken so that it cannot be seen by the camera. But in order for you to see the rigging in action, we have substituted a heavy, light-colored rope so that you will be able to see exactly how the jerk harness works.
How do I feel, Billy?
Oh, this is going to be a piece of cake.
Let's hope.
Now, Billy Ray knows, as every stuntman does, that no stunt is ever really a piece of cake. You can plan it, rehearse it, take every possible precaution, but there is always that unknown element whereby something unforeseen might go wrong.
You ready, Billy Ray? Cameras are.
Action!
You hear me, buddy? You okay, guys?
Talk. Yeah, get the helmet off. Get the helmet off. Get it around him. Talk. Suck it in. I got the back. Breathe okay? Get this thing out. Get me out of this.
Even with all the preparation and precautions, this stuntman, Billy Ray, got a little shook up and had the wind knocked out of him, but only because he was trying too hard to do a good job. He got on it a little too strong, got going a little too fast, and got to the end of his rope just a little bit sooner than he expected.
Look good. Ooh.
But all's well that ends well. Our director liked it, and Billy was okay, so we all moved on to the next gag.
All right?
Great.
Good.
Now here's a car chase that we did in the desert just outside of Phoenix, Arizona. Even with all the risks and hazards involved, sometimes working as a stuntman can really be a lot of fun. Now where else could you get to hang out of a car window and shoot at your friends while you're doing 90 miles an hour down a dusty dirt road? When you do a dangerous car stunt like that, your first thought is for the safety of the driver. As you can see by the concern of these men as they hurry to see if the driver is okay and to get him out of the car. And I, for one, really appreciate that, because I'm the guy inside the car. And I'll have to tell you that once you've done a few of these hazardous stunts, you develop a great sense of appreciation for the help and the support of men like these. It only took a few seconds to show on screen that these men spent many hours working with me to prepare this stunt so that it would look good on camera, and I'd be able to walk away from it when it was all over. They're really a great bunch of guys, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank them for their contributions and their enthusiasm, but without them, a stunt like this would not be possible. After seeing a car stunt like that, you might wonder why anyone would choose such a dangerous profession. Well, for me, I like the excitement and the challenge of every new stunt that comes along. Besides, the pay is very good. Well, I guess it all started when I was a kid growing up in Wisconsin. I used to love to go to the movies, especially the westerns. You know, the Indians, the good guys, the bad guys. But what I liked the best, and what probably got me into this business, were the wonderful western brawls. You know, where they get knocked over the table, through the window, over the bar. Well, in this film, I finally got to do one.
Yeah, you ruined my full house. Yeah. Take him out!
Get him, Billy Ray. Okay, shot.
All right. How was it?
Look good to me. I'll take a print on that one.
Okay.
Nice job.
That felt real good, man, coming off that. That was a lot of fun for me. But no Western would be complete without that final shootout. Now, you know in the movies, when someone gets shot, they're not really being shot. Otherwise, there would be an awful lot of dead actors. But to make it look like someone's being shot, we use what is known as a blood squib. Now, a blood squib is a balloon that is filled with artificial blood and is attached to this. Now, this is a T6 exploding squib, which is actually a miniature blasting cap, like the one used to explode dynamite. But these were designed specifically for the movie industry.
Here you see one of our special effects men pouring the artificial blood into what we refer to as a blood bag, and then carefully tying it to the explosive charge. In order to protect the actor, an impact pad is used. In this case, several layers of folded leather are being taped together to form a cushion between the actor and the explosion. A metal cup is then placed on top of the pad and taped securely into place. The metal cup is used to direct the force of the exploding cap and the artificial blood through the material of the actor's wardrobe. When the impact pad is ready, the blood bag, along with the exploding cap, are put into the metal cup and taped firmly into position. Next, in order to ensure the look of the effect, the fabric of the actor's shirt must first be weakened sufficiently to allow the exploding blood bag to blow through the material more easily. To best illustrate the way a squib works, we've placed one on the actor so that you will be able to see it explode without being hidden by his shirt. Once the squib is taped into place, the lead wires from the exploding cap are then attached to a power source. The squib can then be triggered either by the actor wearing a portable battery or, as in this case, by the special effects man using a control box. When everything is ready, all you have to do is plug it in, turn it on, and push the button. Now here's the way that blood squibs might be used in a typical Western-styled shootout.
The last stunt you saw, where I got shot off the top of the building, that's called a high fall. Now, the higher you go, the more dangerous it is. But when we speak about dangerous in the stunt business, there's one stunt probably more dangerous than all, and that is, you guessed it, fire. Now, there's two different ways of doing a fire gag. One is a partial body burn. That is where only part of your body is on fire. The second one is a full body burn. That is where you are completely engulfed in flames. But first, I'd like to show you a partial body burn. Now that was a partial body burn. Now here's a scene we shot to show you how a full body burn might be used in the film.
Here you'll see what we had to go through to prepare Billy in order for him to be able to do that full body burn you just saw. We begin by covering him with powder to keep him dry, because once the fire's lit, it will get so hot inside his burn suit that the heat would turn any perspiration into steam, and he would literally be cooked in his own perspiration. A second protective layer, treated with a fire retardant, is then put on just for good measure. Next, we put him into a burn suit, which is made of a material that can withstand extremely high temperatures.
They're ducting the legs. Right in there.
First, we tape the suit so it would conform to the shape of his body, but leaving him enough room so that he will still be able to move about without being too restricted. Except around the ankles. There you must tape the pant legs very tight to make absolutely certain that no flames will be able to crawl up inside the suit.
Tape that bottom to those off real tight. Real tight. And go all the way around me on that second.
Here you see yet another layer of protective covering being added. This particular piece has been cut out of a heavy asbestos cloth and shaped so that it will cover and protect his back and his neck from the heat of the flames. What you're looking at now are two asbestos shields that are worn to protect the area under the arms. You see, the second you move your arms away from your body, you get a terrific buildup of heat and flames, all concentrated right in that area. Once the top half of the burn suit is on, time then really becomes a factor. Because underneath all those layers, it can get very warm, and we didn't want Billy to start perspiring. Therefore, it was very important that we finish dressing him as soon as possible. So once we got his gloves on, the next step was to get him into the outer jumpsuit. This white jumpsuit will be covered with a highly flammable substance designed to put out a very hot, brightly colored flame that will burn at a temperature somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 degrees. Billy was okay, but we all knew what he was feeling. This was serious business, and if anything should go wrong, we all knew that he could be badly burned, or worse. Billy is ready now, and the time to do the burn has come. While the tenders were busy putting on the last of the protective gear, I double-checked to make certain that everyone involved was absolutely sure of where they were to be, and of what they were going to do from the very second we ignited him until the flames were completely out. We were all aware of one simple fact, and that is, there's no margin for error when you're playing with fire.
Out of it now? You okay now? You feel okay now?
Yeah, I can be fine.
Okay. Here we go. We're going to pull
Okay,
this.
adjust the eye legs too. Pull them out. Pull it out so that I can get relaxed. Okay.
Yeah, you come in here and make sure that mist is out. And stay away from flames, whatever you do. That will go.
Feel good?
Yeah. Which way is the wind blowing?
Right,
Right at you. Right up where you stand now.
now.
Okay, give me your arm. Stretch him out, Billy. Stretch your arms out.
Are the torches ready?
Here we go.
Let me take a big deep breath before you torch me.
Okay. No problem. Can you hear me good?
Yeah.
Everything sound okay?
Fine.
On the other side.
Not on the ground.
Nope.
Okay, turn. Get that out of here and let's go.
Give me a second.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Hang on.
Let Ron in there first.
Okay.
Let Ron in there first.
Go ahead.
No, get him away from the car a little bit.
Step forward. Watch it. Watch it.
Here we go.
It's going. Take it. Let's go. Let's shoot. Over, Billy. Over. Get him down, get the mask off.
That's okay. Get him up.
Okay, take your time. Breathe nice. You okay?
Get this hair up.
Let me see your eyes. You're good.
Hold open.
Good.
Beautiful.
I'm still hot, so get me out of here.
Okay, we're coming. Here you go. Call you.
There. How is it, buddy?
I saw fire.
Damn.
Thank you,
Look
baby.
hot. Look hot.
Yeah, give me your...
We hope now you have a little better understanding and perhaps a little more appreciation for the work of the stuntman that you see in the movies and on television. We do it all just for your entertainment. Hope you enjoyed the show. See you at the movies.
We'd like to point out that the stunts performed in that program are extremely dangerous, even for professional stuntmen, and on no account should anyone try and copy them.